The rain had been falling for hours. Not the gentle kind that soothes the earth, but the relentless kind. The kind that washes away footprints, dreams, and sometimes people. Under the dim flicker of a broken streetlight, curled beside a closed bakery, sat a girl no one noticed. Her name was Ayesha. No last name, no records, no home, just Ayesha. Her clothes were soaked, clinging to her thin frame. Her hands trembled, not just from the cold, but from hunger. It had been 2 days since she last ate anything more than a half-rotten apple she found in a trash bin. Cars sped past her. People walked by. Umbrellas shielded faces, not hearts. To them, she was invisible. But tonight, everything was about to change. A scream in the distance. Ayesha was about to close her eyes when she heard it. "Help! Somebody help!" Her head snapped up. The voice came from across the street, near a black luxury car that had stopped abruptly. A crowd began to gather, but no one stepped forward. Ayesha stood slowly, her weak legs shaking. Something inside her pushed her forward. She crossed the street, ignoring the honking cars. As she got closer, she saw a boy, no older than 10, lying unconscious on the wet pavement. A woman in an expensive dress was crying hysterically beside him. "He's not breathing. My son, someone please do something." A man in a suit, probably the driver, was on the phone, shouting, "Yes, yes, send the ambulance now, hurry." The crowd whispered. "Maybe a heart attack. Too late. Don't touch him. What if something goes wrong?" Ayesha stepped closer, her eyes locked on the boy. His lips were turning blue. His chest wasn't moving. "He's already gone," a young man in the crowd shook his head. "I've seen this before," he muttered. "There's no pulse. He's gone." The words hit like a hammer. The woman screamed louder, clutching her son. "No, he can't be. Somebody save him." But nobody moved, except Ayesha. A memory from the past, her hands trembled as she knelt beside the boy. The woman looked at her shocked. "Stay away, what are you doing?" Ayesha didn't answer, because in that moment she wasn't in the rain anymore, she was somewhere else. A small room, a weak bulb. A man lying on the floor, her father. She remembered his voice, faint but urgent. "Ayesha, if something ever happens, press here like this. Don't stop, even if they say it's too late." Her father had been a paramedic. Before everything fell apart, before he died, because no one helped him. The decision. Ayesha placed her small hands on the boy's chest. The crowd gasped. "Hey, stop her, she's just a street girl. She'll make it worse." The woman tried to pull her away, but something in Ayesha's eyes made her freeze. Determination, fear, and something else, hope. Fighting death, Ayesha began compressions. 1, 2, 3. Her voice was barely audible under the rain. Her arms shook with every push. "Come on," she whispered. "Come back." Nothing. She kept going. Don't stop, she repeated to herself. Minutes passed. The crowd grew restless. "This is pointless. The ambulance isn't even here yet. He's gone." But Ayesha didn't stop. Even when her hands started to bleed from the cold pavement, even when her vision blurred. Even when her body screamed for her to give up. The doctors arrived finally. The ambulance arrived. Paramedics rushed in, pushing Ayesha aside. "Move, move!" They checked the boy. One of them looked at the other and slowly shook his head. No pulse, no response. The mother's world shattered. "No, try again, please," the doctor sighed. "We've done what we can." Then he said the words that echoed through the storm. "Time of death." "Wait!" Ayesha screamed. Everyone turned. Her voice cracked, but her eyes burned with fire. "You didn't try enough," the paramedics frowned. "Girl, step back. He's not gone," she shouted. "You have to try again," the crowd murmured. Who does she think she is? She's crazy. But Ayesha didn't care. She dropped to her knees again beside the boy, and before anyone could stop her, she started compressions again. A miracle in the rain. 1, 2, 3. The paramedics tried to pull her away. But then, wait! One of them froze. "Did you see that?" The boy's finger twitched. Everyone went silent. Ayesha kept going. "Come back," she cried, another twitch, then a faint gasp. The paramedic's eyes widened. "Pulse, I feel a pulse." The mother collapsed in shock. "Is he alive?" The girl who disappeared. Chaos erupted. The boy was rushed into the ambulance. Doctors worked frantically. The mother cried tears of relief. The crowd cheered. But in the middle of it all, no one noticed Ayesha. She sat there, drenched, exhausted. A small, weak smile formed on her lips. She had done it. She saved him. She slowly stood up. Her legs barely held her, and just like she appeared, she disappeared into the rain. Inside the hospital hours later, machines beeped steadily. The boy R.M. Malik, son of billionaire Mr. Zaid Malik, was alive. Barely, but alive. Doctors were stunned. This doesn't make sense. He had no pulse for minutes. Who performed CPR? The mother whispered through tears. A girl. What girl? She looked around, but Ayesha was gone. A question that changed everything when Zaid Malik arrived at the hospital. His presence shook the entire building. Power, wealth, authority. But none of it mattered when he saw his son lying unconscious. What happened? He demanded. The doctor hesitated. Sir, your son was clinically dead for several minutes. Zaid's face turned pale. Then how is he alive? The room fell silent. Finally, his wife spoke softly. Because of a girl, no one knows who she was. The search begins. Zaid's eyes hardened. Find her. The staff exchanged looks. Sir, we don't have any details. I don't care, he said coldly. Find her. Outside, the rain finally began to stop. But somewhere in the city, Ayesha walked barefoot through the dark streets. Still hungry, still homeless, still invisible. She had saved the most powerful man's son, and yet no one knew her name. To be continued. If you like this tone and direction, I'll continue with part 2, next 2,000 words, where the billionaire begins a citywide search. Ayesha's painful past is revealed, and a shocking twist changes everything. The city woke up to sunshine. But inside Malik International Hospital, the night hadn't ended. Machines still beeped, doctors still whispered. And in the VIP ward, the most powerful man in the city stood silently beside his son. Zaid Malik had built empires. He had faced losses worth millions without blinking. But nothing had ever made his hands tremble the way they did now. RM lay still, oxygen mask on. Chest rising slowly, but alive. A miracle that shouldn't exist. Explain it to me again, Zaid said, his voice low but sharp. The senior doctor adjusted his glasses nervously. Sir, your son had no pulse for approximately 4 minutes. Zaid's jaw tightened. And medically speaking, survival after that duration without brain damage is extremely rare. Rare, Zaid repeated coldly, but not impossible. The doctor hesitated. There's something else, sir. Zaid looked at him. The CPR, it was done almost perfectly. The timing, the pressure, it's as if it was performed by a trained professional. Zaid frowned. My wife said it was a girl, a homeless girl. The doctor nodded slowly. That's what makes this unusual. A mother's memory across the room. RM's mother sat quietly, staring at her son. Her makeup was gone. Her designer clothes were wrinkled. For the first time in years, she looked human. Her hands, she whispered. Zaid turned. What? The girl, her hands were shaking, but she didn't stop, she said, her voice breaking. Everyone else gave up, even the doctors. She paused. But she didn't. Zaid's expression shifted. Did you see her face? She closed her eyes, trying to remember. Wet hair, thin, maybe 15 or 16, she said softly. But her eyes, what about them? They didn't look scared. She opened her eyes. They looked like she had already lost everything. The order. Zaid turned to his assistant. Imran, yes, sir. I want every camera checked within a 5-kilometer radius of that location. Yes, sir. I want street vendors questioned, taxi drivers, security guards. Everyone, yes, sir. And if someone saw her, we'll find her, Imran assured. Zaid's voice dropped. No, he said slowly. We must find her. Meanwhile, in the shadows across the city, under a broken bridge, Ayesha sat with her knees pulled to her chest. The sunlight didn't reach here. It never did. Around her were others like her. Invisible people. A boy digging through garbage, an old man coughing in the corner. A woman rocking a crying child. No one asked questions. Because everyone had their own pain. Ayesha stared at her hands. They were bruised, scratched, still slightly stained with blood. She remembered the boy's face. Lifeless, cold, then that gasp. That tiny breath, a small smile appeared on her lips. He lived, she whispered. Hunger returns. Her stomach growled loudly. Reality hit again. Saving a life didn't change hers. She stood up slowly and walked toward the market. The same routine, the same looks, or rather the same lack of them. She passed by a bakery. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. Her steps slowed. Inside, people laughed, ordered food, paid without thinking. Ayesha stood outside for a moment, watching, wanting. Then she turned away. A suspicious eye, but someone had noticed her. A security guard leaned against the wall, watching her closely. Not with kindness, with suspicion. Hey, he shouted. Ayesha froze. Come here, she hesitated. I said come here. Slowly, she walked toward him. You've been hanging around here for days, he said harshly. Planning to steal something? No, she said softly. Then why are you here? She didn't answer. The guard scoffed. People like you, he muttered, always causing trouble. He stepped closer. Show me your hands. Ayesha hesitated again. Now she raised her hands. The guard frowned. Bruises, scratches, dried blood. What is this? He asked suspiciously. Before she could answer, a voice interrupted. Leave her. An unexpected encounter. A man in a black suit stood nearby. Clean, sharp, different. The guard straightened immediately. Sir, this girl. I said leave her. The man stepped forward. His eyes studied Ayesha carefully, not judging, observing. You're hurt, he said calmly. Ayesha looked down. It's nothing. The man tilted his head slightly. What's your name? She hesitated. Ayesha, do you have a family? Silence. The man sighed softly. Then he reached into his pocket and handed her some money. Get something to eat. Ayesha stared at it. She didn't take it. I didn't do anything, she said quietly. I know. Then why are you helping me? The man paused. Then he said something unexpected. Because someone like you helped someone very important last night. Ayesha's heart skipped. She looked up quickly. The man watched her reaction carefully. You were there, weren't you? Ayesha took a step back. Fear flickered in her eyes. I have to go. She turned and ran. Ayesha, wait. But she was gone. The call that changed everything. The man in the suit, Imran, immediately pulled out his phone. Sir, he said urgently, I think I found her. The chase begins. Zaid Malik didn't wait. Within minutes, his convoy was moving through the city. Luxury cars cutting through traffic, people staring. But inside the car, Zaid's mind was elsewhere. A homeless girl saving his son. Then disappearing, running away from help. Why? What kind of life forces someone to run from kindness? Back under the bridge, Ayesha returned to her spot, breathing heavily. Her heart raced. They're looking for me, she whispered. Fear crept in. People like her didn't get searched for unless something was wrong. Maybe they think I did something, she thought. Her chest tightened. I should leave, but go where? This broken bridge was the only place she knew. Power meets poverty. Black cars stopped near the bridge. Doors opened. Men in suits stepped out. And then Zaid Malik himself. The entire area went silent. Even the wind seemed to pause. The homeless watched in confusion, fear, curiosity. Zaid looked around, his eyes scanning every face. Until they stopped. On her, Ayesha, small, fragile, but unbreakable. The moment of truth, their eyes met. Two completely different worlds colliding. Zaid stepped forward, slowly. Ayesha stood frozen. You, he said quietly. You're the one. Ayesha shook her head slightly. I didn't do anything. Zaid's voice softened. You saved my son. Silence fell. Everyone watched. Ayesha's lips trembled. I just tried, she whispered. Zaid took another step closer. Do you know who I am? She shook her head. I don't care who you are, she said softly. I just didn't want him to die. Those words hit harder than anything. No greed, no expectation, just humanity. A truth that hurt. Zaid looked around at the broken surroundings. This is where you live. Ayesha didn't answer. He looked back at her. You saved a life worth billions, and this is what you have. Ayesha's voice was calm. Life doesn't work like that. Zaid was silent. For the first time in years, he had no answer. A decision that changed everything. Zaid turned to Imran. Prepare the car. Then he looked at Ayesha. Come with me. Ayesha stepped back. No, everyone was shocked. Zaid frowned. No, I don't belong there, she said quietly. Zaid's voice became firm. You belong wherever you choose to be. Ayesha shook her head. People like me don't get choices. That line, it stayed in the air, heavy, painful, real. The turning point. Zaid took a deep breath. Then he said something no one expected. Then let this be your first one. Ayesha looked at him, confused, hopeful, afraid. Come with me, he said again. Not because I'm rich. Not because you saved my son, he paused, but because you deserve more than this. Tears filled Ayesha's eyes. No one had ever said that to her before, ever. A door opened slowly, hesitantly. Ayesha took a step forward, then another, and another, until she stood in front of the car, a new world waiting inside. She looked back once, at the bridge. At the life she knew, then she stepped in. The car door closed with a soft click, and just like that, Ayesha's old world was left behind. A silent ride inside the luxury car. Everything felt unreal. Soft leather seats, cool air conditioning, silence. Ayesha sat at the edge of the seat, her hands clenched tightly in her lap, afraid to even lean back, as if she might dirty something just by touching it. Across from her, Zaid Malik watched quietly. Not with judgment, with curiosity. You've never been in a car before, have you? He asked gently. Ayesha shook her head. No, Zaid nodded slowly, absorbing every small detail about her. You're not afraid? He asked. She looked out the window at the fast-moving city lights. I've been more afraid of people with nothing, she said quietly. People with everything are new. Zaid almost smiled, almost. Entering another world, the gates opened, massive, golden, guarded. The car rolled into a mansion that looked less like a house and more like a palace. Ayesha's eyes widened, marble floors, fountains, lights glowing like stars. This is your home, she whispered. Zaid stepped out. Yes, she hesitated before stepping out. For a moment she didn't move, then she looked down at her dirty feet. I shouldn't go inside, she said. Zaid turned. Why, I'll ruin it. Something in that sentence hit deeper than any insult ever could. Zaid walked back toward her. Then, without a word, he removed his own expensive shoes and stepped onto the marble floor barefoot. The guards froze, the staff stared. If you ruin it, he said calmly, then so do I. Ayesha looked at him, stunned. And for the first time she stepped inside. The first kindness a woman approached one of the house staff. Sir, prepare a room, Zaid said, and arrange for her to clean up. The woman nodded, though confusion was clear on her face. Ayesha followed her upstairs. Every step felt heavier. Every second felt like a dream she didn't trust. Inside the room, Ayesha froze. A bed bigger than the space she used to sleep in. Clean sheets, soft lighting, a mirror. She walked toward it slowly. And for the first time in months, she saw herself. Dirty, tired, broken, she touched her face gently. Is this me? She whispered, washing away the past. Warm water poured over her. She flinched at first, not used to it. Then slowly she relaxed. The dirt washed away. The bruises became visible. Old scars, new wounds, stories no one had ever asked about. Tears mixed with the water. Not loud, not dramatic, just silent, heavy. A new identity when she stepped out. Clean clothes were waiting, simple but beautiful. She wore them slowly, carefully, as if they might disappear. When she looked in the mirror again, she didn't recognize the girl staring back. For the first time in years, she looked like she belonged somewhere. Meanwhile, a growing suspicion downstairs, Zaid stood in his study. Imran beside him. There's something strange, Imran said. Zaid looked up. What? I checked nearby clinics' records, anything that might match her. And nothing, Imran replied. It's like she doesn't exist. Zaid frowned. That's impossible. Imran hesitated. There's more. Zaid's eyes narrowed. Say it. Imran placed a file on the table. I found a report from years ago. A paramedic who died under suspicious circumstances. Zaid's expression darkened. And this is related to her. How? Imran opened the file. The paramedic had a daughter. Zaid's voice dropped. Ayesha? Imran nodded slowly. The shocking truth. Zaid picked up the file, reading line by line. His grip tightened. This says he died waiting for help. Yes, Imran said. Witnesses claimed no ambulance arrived in time. Zaid's eyes hardened. Which hospital was responsible? Imran hesitated again, then said quietly, Malik Emergency Services. Silence, heavy. Dangerous, Zaid's empire, his system, his failure, a guilt he never expected. Zaid stepped back slowly. That's not possible, but the documents didn't lie. Years ago, a man died. Because help didn't come, and his daughter became invisible to the world. Zaid ran a hand through his hair. And now that same daughter saved my son? Imran nodded. Zaid let out a slow breath. This isn't coincidence. A dinner that changed everything that evening. Ayesha sat at a long dining table. Food was placed in front of her, more than she had seen in months. She didn't move. Zaid noticed. Eat, he said gently. She looked at the food, then at him. Is it really for me? Yes. Slowly, she picked up a piece of bread, took a bite, and then she couldn't stop. Not out of greed, out of survival. Zaid watched quietly. Every bite told a story. Every movement revealed a life of hunger. The question after a while, Zaid spoke. Ayesha, she froze slightly. When you saved my son, where did you learn that? Her hand stopped. Silence. Then my father, she said softly. Zaid's chest tightened. What did he do? Ayesha looked down. He used to save people. Zaid closed his eyes briefly. And what happened to him? Ayesha's voice trembled. No one saved him. The truth collides. Zaid felt something break inside him. But Ayesha continued. He kept telling me, never stop trying even if they say it's too late. Her eyes filled with tears. They said he was gone, but I kept trying, she whispered. Zaid couldn't breathe for a moment, because those same words saved his son. A new threat emerges suddenly. Imran rushed in. Sir, Zaid turned sharply. "What is it? There's a problem." "What kind of problem?" Imran lowered his voice. "Someone knows about her." Zaid's expression hardened. "Who? A man named Rashid Khan." Zaid's eyes darkened instantly. "He shouldn't be involved." Imran nodded. "But he is." The danger revealed Rashid Khan, a powerful rival. A man who thrived on secrets, scandals, weakness. "If he connects her past to your company," Imran warned. Zaid finished the sentence coldly. "He'll destroy everything." The girl who became a target upstairs, Ayesha, stood by the window, looking at the city lights. For the first time, she felt safe. But far away, someone else was watching. A photo of her in Rashid Khan's hand, a slow, dangerous smile forming. "Interesting," he whispered. The calm before the storm back in the study, Zaid made a decision. "Double the security." "Yes, sir. No one gets near her." Imran nodded. "And Rashid?" Zaid's voice turned ice cold. "I'll handle him." A storm is coming that night. Ayesha slept in a real bed, warm, safe, unaware that her past had just caught up with her. And the man responsible for her father's death was closer than she ever imagined. The night was quiet, too quiet. Inside the mansion, everything looked peaceful, but peace was just an illusion. A dream that turned into a nightmare. Ayesha tossed in her sleep, her breathing uneven, her hands clenched tightly in the bedsheet. "No, Baba, wait," she whispered. The dream came back that night. The one she could never forget. Her father lying on the floor, struggling to breathe. She was small, helpless. "Help is coming," he had said, but it never came. She woke up suddenly, gasping. Sweat on her forehead, tears in her eyes. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. Then she saw the room, the soft lights, the silence. "This isn't real," she whispered. The file that shouldn't be seen. Unable to sleep, Ayesha stepped out of the room. The mansion felt different at night, colder, darker. She walked slowly down the hallway. That's when she saw it, a door slightly open. Light inside. Zaid's study. She hesitated, then something pulled her in. Inside, papers, files, everything neatly arranged. But one file was open on the table. Her name, Ayesha. Her heart skipped. Slowly, she walked closer. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. She read, line by line. Her breath stopped. The truth, paramedic. Faisal Ahmed, cause of death. Delay in emergency response. Her father. She turned the page. Responsible unit, Malik Emergency Services. Her vision blurred. "No," she whispered. Another page. A signature, approval, authorization. Zaid Malik. The file slipped from her hands. A world-shattered footsteps echoed behind her. "Ayesha," Zaid's voice. She didn't turn. "Is it true?" she asked. Her voice was barely there. Zaid froze. "Ayesha, listen to me. Is it true?" she shouted, turning around. Her eyes were filled with tears, pain, betrayal. Zaid looked at the file, then at her. Silence. That silence was the answer. Ayesha stepped back slowly. "You," she whispered. "You're the reason he died." Zaid's voice broke. "I didn't know, I swear I didn't know it was him. But it was your system," she cried. Her voice echoed through the mansion. "He waited and you never came." Zaid had no defense. No excuse, just guilt, the cruel twist of fate, and I. Ayesha laughed weakly through tears. "I saved your son." The irony was unbearable. "You took my father and I gave you your child back." Zaid stepped forward. "Ayesha, please, don't," she shouted. He stopped, because he had never seen pain like this before, never. The enemy strikes suddenly, gunshots. Glass shattered, screams filled the air. Imran rushed in. "Sir, Rashid's men, they're here." Chaos erupted. Guards ran, alarms blared. Zaid turned instantly. "Get her out of here." But it was too late. Men stormed in, armed, dangerous, and behind them Rashid Khan, clapping slowly. "Beautiful," he said. "Absolutely beautiful." The villain's game. Rashid looked at Ayesha. "So you're the girl," he smirked. "The miracle child." Ayesha stood frozen. Zaid stepped in front of her. "Stay away from her," Rashid laughed. "Oh, I'm not here for her." He leaned closer. "I'm here for you." He held up a copy of the file. "This little secret," he said. "Very expensive." Zaid's voice turned cold. "What do you want?" Rashid smiled. "Everything." The breaking point. Ayesha looked between them. "This is about money," she whispered. Rashid shrugged. "Everything is." Ayesha shook her head slowly. "No," she said. "This is about lives." Everyone fell silent. The final choice. Rashid raised his gun slightly. "Last chance, Zaid," he said. "Or things get messy." Zaid didn't move, didn't speak. Then Ayesha stepped forward. "No," Zaid turned sharply. "Ayesha, don't." She looked at him, tears still falling. "You don't get to lose your son," she said softly. Zaid's eyes widened. "What are you doing?" She turned back to Rashid. "You want power," she said. "Take me." Silence, everyone stunned. A sacrifice no one expected. Zaid grabbed her arm. "Are you crazy?" She pulled away gently. "I already lost everything," she whispered. Then she looked at him one last time. "Now you know how it feels." Those words destroyed him. The shot, everything happened in seconds. Rashid smirked. "Deal." But as his man stepped forward, a gunshot rang out. Ayesha's body jerked. Then fell. Time stopped. "No," Zaid's voice broke. He rushed forward, catching her before she hit the ground. Blood, so much blood, Ayesha's eyes fluttered. "You're crying," she whispered weakly. Zaid shook his head. "Stay with me, please." Tears fell freely now. "I'm sorry," he choked. "I'm so sorry," Ayesha gave a faint smile. "You came too late," she whispered, the same words. The same pain returned. A second chance. "Call an ambulance," Zaid screamed. Imran rushed to his phone, but Ayesha's hand grabbed Zaid's weakly. "No, we can save you," he cried. She shook her head slightly. "Don't stop trying," she whispered. Her father's words passed on. The end of the girl, no one saw. Her hand slowly slipped from his. Her eyes closed. And this time, no one could bring her back. Cloud the aftermath. Days later, the city mourned a billionaire's son who survived. But no one knew about the girl who died, except one man, Zaid Malik. A legacy born from pain. Months passed. The mansion changed. Zaid changed. And one day, a new building opened. Not for profit, not for power, but for redemption. Ayesha Emergency Center, free. Fast for everyone, no delays, no forgotten lives. The final scene, Zaid stood in front of her photo. Clean, framed, seen for the first time. "You saved my son," he said softly. "And you saved me too." A tear rolled down his cheek. "But I couldn't save you." The truth that remained: some people live their whole lives being seen by everyone and meaning nothing. And some, like Ayesha, are unseen, unknown, but change the world forever. Sometimes a hero isn't the one the world recognizes. A hero is the one whose name no one remembers, but whose actions change, lives forever. Today, a father still has his son only because a homeless girl refused to give up. Ayesha was not just a name, she became a feeling. A memory that will always remind us humanity is not measured by money, it's measured by heart. If this story touched you, don't forget to share it, so more people can understand that sometimes the greatest strength comes from those who have nothing. And remember, if life ever gives you a chance to help someone, don't walk away, because one day you might become someone's Ayesha. Goodbye and take care.